So we'll connect to our Ujjayi breath. And start to lengthen out the exhales. I find this to be more and more important when we're using that Ujjayi breath. Just slow that exhalation down. It doesn't have to be an extreme, but just a conscious, a choiceful degree of letting that breath and that exhale pass and move through patiently. And we remember one of the functions of the why we're breathing Ujjayi breath, is to help ourselves have rich felt experience, moment to moment. So it's part of a cultivating our energy, the energy of experience, the energy that we're working with. And when we slow it down like so, we can start to recruit, bring in those low belly muscles, and we've been playing with these. We're going to do our twist a little bit differently today. We're going to do our twist and so when I lie on the ground, I'm going to be shaping myself a little bit like a scarecrow. So my forearms will be off to the side like so. Let me show it to you. We've not done it before necessarily. So when we lie back, I'm leaving my feet as if for bridge. And I'm resting my forearms on the ground. But here's the thing. I'm also going to pick my hands up so that my shoulders, my shoulder blade, my arm bones can be quite connected to the ground. And here's the way we're working twist. Move a little more onto my mat. So let's say I'm twisting to my right. What I'll do is just feel and monitor my left arm remaining on the ground as I tip my knees to the right. Okay. So usually when we do twists, our upper body is free to move and our lower body is fixed. And in this configuration, that gets swapped. My upper body is getting to be fixed to the ground, and my lower body is moving underneath my torso. So if you lie down, we'll set the triceps the upper arms out to the side. And I'm just creating a flush feeling of arm and shoulder blade contacting the ground as fully as I can feel. And we'll start 2 deep breaths. So we'll just start to get a sense of breathing behind the shoulder blade. Now again, I'm not concerned whether my hands touch the ground. That's not the concern. But as I keep my left shoulder blade on the ground, I'm going to start to walk and tip my foot and my knees to the right. So I'm just walking them around so I have the best ability to, we'll say, control my legs. And the moment I feel my left shoulder blade trying to lift off the ground, I just pause right there. I don't have to push my arm into the ground. I don't have to drive anything. My head is on the ground. So in a sense, I'm letting this twist just help me work underneath the shoulder blade. And just as we're doing exhales, or pardon me, in twists, I may feel a little more movement breath by breath. And I'll return my knees to upright. I'll return the rib cage to the ground. And we'll do the other side. Hope this is coming across clearly. So I've got my right tricep on the ground, my right shoulder blade on the ground. Now I'm tipping my knees to the left, letting my ribs start to turn a bit to the left. And I'm walking my feet around just so my legs are supported. I also have the support of my left arm if I need to. Just finding that sweet little spot where the shoulder blade can touch, but also where the ribs and the shoulder blade might be starting to lose contact with the ground, and I'm just pausing right there. So I'm kind of hovering. And we'll continue on. I'm just going to turn up so I can just see how y'all are interpreting this. The point is not to get the knees to the ground necessarily. The point is really just to have a form of a twist where we can start to breathe underneath those shoulder blade muscles behind the shoulder blade. And start to feel shoulder blade, rib, that space. And plus, you can relax the head very easily. So it's just a nice, and to me it feels really gentle. So if it doesn't feel gentle, we can always try another way. There you go. So now let's release, and we'll just help ourselves back up to seated. So let's get the ribs moving behind those shoulder blades. So if you're able to kind of focus in under that shoulder blade muscle area, then maybe wrapping the shoulder will make a different kinetic sense to us. So as we're in our seated position, now we'll try that side bend. So now I am moving the ribs underneath the shoulder blade around the ribs. Inhale, we'll come up. We'll switch sides. It's a really subtle thing, but I'll mention it. So I'm itching my own nose. When we're accessing these upper ribs with our breath, learn if you can feel that breath coming in through the middle or the lip portion of the nose. We're side bending to the left. If I did not say that, our right arm is reaching over. And when we release, inhale, come upright. We'll draw the right knee over the left knee. Knee pile. We'll do the same side, arms in eagle. Exhaling the right elbow over the left. And perhaps we can find a bit of comfort in the way that we're breathing around the heart. Inhale, we'll unwind the arms, the legs, and then exhaling, we'll switch sides. Okay, and now when we do the other side, inhale the arms out to the sides. You can spread and fill into those same deep lateral and back edges of the heart and the lungs. Exhale the left elbow over the right. Inhaling, we'll unwind the arms, the legs. We're going to move on to our hands and knees. We're going to set up the arm component for Turbo Dog. So if I'm leaving my knees down, we're leaving our knees down. Walk the hands forward from being under your shoulder. This will let you put a little oomph through the skeleton, and I do encourage it. If you're not sure how to get that oomph going through your arms, hands, and ground, curl your back toes under and let your toe pads kind of propel you into the ground. And that'll give us the ability to create this torque or this winding up as we turn. We're rotating each of these arm bones, and it's quite possible the shoulder blades move differently across the rib cage. So we're just taking this to a point of interest. And connecting to breath, still breathing into that back behind the heart way. Do you want to lower or bring the arms down another inch or so? It may require even more torsion, more of that wrapping, pushing. And this is a really fine, great place to work, just leaving the knees down. If you feel the spirit move you, we can press the knees off the ground. So we're working with our arms in that Turbo Dog position, or we're pressing the knees off the ground. Your pleasure. And release. And so now let's set elbows under shoulders for dolphin. And setting the forearms out. Yeah, so now more and more of our arm is fixed to the ground. So how we develop that torsion and that support from our fascia, our muscle, will just change in degrees. Exhaling, pressing the knees off the ground. We're just going to spend a short time because I have a few variations for us here. So just 2, 3 deep breaths additionally in our dolphin. And then gently set the knees down. And take a lot of just little breaks, little bits of work. I want to show you just another iteration of the twist we started off with today. Okay, so if I set up just like dolphin, just like we all did, And if I only press my knees off the ground a few inches, this lets my knees kind of float, and I'm kind of swiveling back and forth just so that you can see. And if I do swivel or turn my knees a little bit to my left, I get a very different effect than if I leave them central. And if I swivel my knees a little bit to the right, again, it's kind of this idea of I can create these degrees of torsion, and we're just playing a little bit with the lower body. So I'll talk us in. Let me do it from a back angle, just in case that was not visually clear. So if we set up dolphin, just like we always do, elbows under shoulders and the forearms set out. And I press my knees just several inches off the ground, maybe 10 inches at the most. I remain kind of hovering in this dolphin, and I can just play with swiveling my knees a little off to the left, pushing the arms down into the ground. I can return my knees centrally anytime I want, but if I'm going to play to the left, I play to the right. So let's give it a few breaths of some play, and then if you have any confusions, we can bring it up to each other in person. So why would I do this? If I was working with a body that had a lot of turning in one way, this might be kind of great. Or scoliosis, or just some one-sided usage. Now, do you have to do this variety I'm suggesting? No. If it's more beneficial to you to just keep the knees central and not invoke any twist, that's fine. We'll just take a few more breaths, just kind of playing a little bit. So I'm letting the movement of the knees help beget a little turning action through the torso. And then when you come back centrally, we'll set the knees down. Inhale the hands under the shoulders. Exhaling, downward dog. Inhale, step any foot forward as we'll take a symmetric stance, a wide stance. So any foot you want to step forward. The abdominals that we'll do today will be in the form of those breath exercises. So we'll just start a little bit with slow Agnisara. So I've got the hands on thighs, the feet set hip width or more widely. And we'll start with exhaling everything out the mouth. We'll remain empty, chin low, low toward the sternum, and drawing the belly in and releasing it. Drawing the belly in, back and up, and releasing it. Drawing the belly in, back and up. releasing it, drawing the belly in, back and up. And release. Take a breath, 2. We'll do another round. So just like we twist and we create these torsions through our fascia, we remember that those twists and torsions can exist much more deeply in our viscera. So the tissues surrounding and hugging our organs, our peritoneum, the cavities, these also can become twisted, torsion. So let's do another round Agnisara. It might be interesting, exhaling everything out as you're drawing the belly in and releasing, just to start to attune to the areas of our organs that pliably, resiliently, responsively move and release, where you might feel a little twist, or where you might feel a little dullness. So with the Agnisara, just drawing in, back, up, and releasing. We learn a lot on the release, so feel how we do release in the body. Of course, take a couple breaths when you need. Let's do 2 more rounds together, but independently. If you go fast, that's fine. I'm going to just stay with the slow, and the reason being is I want to feel exactly and precisely how I'm releasing. So we'll do 2 more rounds at our own pace, doing these together. When you're through those rounds, resume Ujjayi breath. We'll keep our stance wide. And then just join us as you're finishing your Agnisara. As we interlace the hands behind the back, inhale. And then exhaling, folding. Release, bringing the hands down to the sacrum Now inhale, let's walk the hands toward the right foot. I'm going to make my right foot my forward or front foot. So if you need to adjust on your mat, go right ahead. Now let's pivot into a lunge. So exhaling the left heel back. Just gradually engaging this left leg, sending those muscles, those thigh muscles toward the sky as I'm lengthening them back. Now I'm letting my hands be on the ground, and they're supplying me with a little bit of that torsioning, wrapping of the shoulder. Right, inhaling. We'll set that left knee down. On exhale, we'll take this left elbow over the right thigh, twisting lunge. It might be more beneficial to leave your left arm less deeply pressing against the thigh. Inhale, let's unwind. We'll set the hands down, exhaling chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. And exhale, downward dog. Inhale, left foot forward lunge. So I've got my right knee, my right heel off the ground. I want you to decide on what surface you'll place your hands. The ground might be too far, the blocks might work better. But I'm trying to use my hand position to create just another iteration of the wrapping of the shoulders. So as I stretch that right heel, right leg back, I'm reaching my arms relative to my body. I'm reaching them forward. And this way I can press the ribs toward the sky. So it's a little bit like having my arms in eagle in that sense, where I can feel the draw, the tug, all around the back of the heart area, the skin, the muscles. For me, I like to feel all those little ribby spine areas in really individuated ways. Like those nerves are important to me. All right, let's set the knee down, and we're moving into twisting lunge. And then this might help a couple of us. So we can cross the elbow over the thigh. Perfect, I love it. If you're working with a bit of a neck or a shoulder thing, it might work a little bit better for you to reach the hand not over the thigh, but maybe a little bit over the foot, maybe a bit out in front of the foot. And where I'm getting my balance from is I'm putting my left hand on my thigh. So it's not as deep of a twist, but it lets the neck area and that neck nerve area be much, much freer. So if there's a congestion in the mid-back, we can at least work it in a way where we don't have to cluster the shoulder. So it's just a variation. We're still twisting to the left. Release. Inhale, unwind. We set hands under shoulders, exhaling, chaturanga. And as we lower, and pulling the shoulders away from the jaw. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Interlock warrior. Inhale, step the right foot forward. And we're exhaling the right arm under the right thigh and the left hand behind the back. We'll have two poses on this side too. Extended warrior. We'll release the hands, inhaling the right hand down, the left arm reaching overhead. Maybe this is a good time to refresh our mind, to listen to how we're breathing. And we don't have to make our breath laboriously slow, but to just intentionally, just choicefully hear and feel the slow, the patient exhalation. We're not trying to string it out as far as we can, but it's just that decision to not blow off the energy, but to patiently exit it. It's a form of cultivation, to not let it blast out of us. Right? So again, part of this is how we distribute energy, and I look right to our electrical and civil engineering friends. We have a lot of really great structure and yoga technology for not blowing off and distributing energy as immediately as possible. That's one of the points. And in so doing, there's a kind of a tempering. Let's inhale, exiting that extended warrior, setting hands down, exhaling chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhaling, downward dog. Just patience. So we're participating in and with the exhale. We're participating insofar as if I just blow off the air, the breath, then I have to quickly look for more breath. And it usually comes in the form of gasping, and which is really just a form of grasping. We're just grasping for breath. Inhale, we'll set the left foot forward, interlock warrior. Exhaling the left arm under the left thigh. The right hand behind back. And here's another, just an idea as you're playing with this kind of slower release of the breath. If it is true that our breath is supporting our body, then to quickly exit breath, to blow it off, to get it out, to sigh it off, to distribute it out quickly, in a sense, it pulls our support out from under us. But if we patiently exit the breath, it'll give us a moment to find new support structures, new strategies of how to hold my bones, my nerves, how to support myself with my muscles. I'm not just pulling my breath support out like out from under me. Here's that extended warrior. We'll release the hands, inhaling the left hand down to the ground, and then exhaling the right arm overhead. The right arm overhead, extended warrior. It's just play, it's just practice. So what would that be like to more slowly distribute breath? To empty carefully. This is all of that abdominal, that breath work we've done over the weekend. It's just that gradual sinking, emptying. Inhale, bring right hand down. Exhaling, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhaling, downward dog. So here's what I'd like to do. I'd like to show you one more. I think it's a fun pose. So just walk or set your knees down. Just come to a rest position so that I can show you this. It's a pose I don't teach, but I'll teach a specific way today. So the pose I rarely teach so we hook the legs in standing and then hook the arms in standing like so. We're going to do a version of that. So I have a block placed to the outside of my foot. And this is so I don't have to make a total hooking of the foot behind the calf. I do not, N-O-T, want you to do that. I just want you to be able to get leg over leg so that you're basically standing on one leg. We'll be able to lean some weight or encourage some internal rotation. And then the block will be there as a kickstand. But we're not just doing that. There's more. We're going to put this in the form of shower. So when I get my distance, my shower distance, I put the block beside my foot. I get the cross of the legs. And then from there we'll work all of the dynamic of shower. We're sending the sit bones back. So I'll talk through it again. I'll show it from another angle. But if there's any confusion just right at the onset, speak now or forever hold your legs crossed. Okay, I'll do it from this angle too. So I'm coming off of I'm using, the measurement of shower. Wherever my feet are and my hands are for shower, that's a great distance for the wall. Take your block, set it on the outside of your left foot. And so now, I cross my right knee over my left. And I'm letting my leg just play as weight on the other. I like it. It's nice. Little lean toward the wall. You got your palms fully connected there. And the dynamic of shower remains in that I'm sending my sit bones back, palming the wall, reaching the arms forward or through the wall. We did twisting root handstand yesterday, so this is just a little echo of that. And I just want you to just have some moments because one, this may be novel in your hip. I really like the weight of one leg to help internally rotate the other. It just feels good to get that nice weighted assist. Two, and I start to rotate my one hip, my thigh bone, my crease. Often I can feel that refracting through the back, the butt. There you go. Great. And so we'll just say within the next few breath moments that we can switch sides, but just take your time. And if you're following along with the halftime scheme, if we switch over to the other side, we'll move the block. And on this side, we'll be crossing our, my left knee over my right. Oh, yes, the right knee is bent. All the knees are bent. The block is there as a kickstand, just so I get a little extra balance assist when I need. I'm not trying to stand on one leg, but I'm definitely trying to bias one leg. And as a follow-up to our previous twisted root handstands, it just gives you one more feeling cue for how the legs can help move and open up the organs, can lengthen can help us lengthen out our torso and spine. So letting that leg pressure serve to expand and to free up the guts. All right. And of course, to exit, we just unwind the left leg, step forward and stand up. Let's set up for Shavasana. And gradually, we'll start to let up on the Ujjayi technique of breathing. And even as we lift away from our throat, vocal area, the muscular bottlenecking that we create can feel the Ujjayi getting lighter and lighter. We still retain our choice to sense, to follow our exhalation. A technique isn't required, but we use them because they're really helpful. And there's a richness as we choose to feel. And that richness may be a tapestry of sadness and gratitude and grief and joy, but it's rich. When you're ready, bend knees. Turn to a side. And we'll press to seated. Namaste. All right. Love y'all.
Thank you.